Well, this was my last attempt at playing Infinite Warfare. At first, when the game launched, it did not come with Infected, and I mean, of course, I really didn't really care at that time. I wanted to play the actual game instead of, just Infected. While Infected is pretty fun. So, I played a couple matches, and as you know from my last Infinite Warfare video, I really wasn't having that much fun. It really isn't the game for me. But then they came out with Infected as a party game mode, and of course, Infected, the classic from Modern Warfare 3, brought into Call of Duty Ghosts, and I think even Advanced Warfare had a version of Infected, which was awful in Advanced Warfare. Modern Warfare 3 was the best one, in my own opinion. Call of Duty Ghosts, I prefer the MW3 version. Some people, I get that they prefer the Call of Duty Ghosts version. It's to each his own. But either way, Modern Warfare 3 and Call of Duty Ghosts Infected were where Infected was at its prime. Then we had Advanced Warfare Infected, which was awful because the map design and the exosuit ruined the game mode, and the class loadouts as well. There wasn't anything but that stupid bulldog that you couldn't even kill anyone with. And the same is pretty much true for Infinite Warfare Infected. I had some hope for it, and the good thing, first of all, the good things about Infinite Warfare Infected are that you can actually get the nuke in it. They made it so you can get the nuke, and actually, to be fair, it is the best way to get the nuke because let's say you just so happen to survive for more than one nuke, you can actually get a second nuke. At least it was that way in a custom match when we tried it out. You could get a second nuke in Infected, unless there was some sort of setting or anything. You could get multiple nukes, which is actually pretty cool because in MW3 and Ghosts, the Moab or the Chem Strike, you could only get it one time in one life. Now, you're really not going to survive that much longer after you get a nuke in Infected, especially, unless the enemies really suck. But, it is a nice little feature that I liked within Infected. However, the problem is that this game does not have a lot of custom party games in it. There's no, I think you could do most of them in the custom games of the private matches, but in regular multiplayer, you can't go into like an all or nothing. You can't, I think the only ones they got is Gun Game and Infected is pretty much like the way that Call of Duty Ghosts was when it first came out, pretty much exactly like Advanced Warfare's Infected, to be fair and to be honest. Now, the only thing that's different about it that I was actually shocked about is you could only go into Infected with one person. You can't even go into Infected with friends, which in Modern Warfare 3, you can go into Infected with friends, and they had TAC inserts within the main game, and you could still go into Infected with friends. I believe in Call of Duty Ghosts and Advanced Warfare, you could still go into Infected with friends. Now, I don't know too much about Advanced Warfare, because I had nobody to play Advanced Warfare with, because that game was trash, but Call of Duty Ghosts, I know for a fact you could go into Infected with friends. Modern Warfare 3, for sure, you can go into Infected with friends, but in Infinite Warfare, they don't allow it for whatever reason. Why? Because people are going to sit in a corner and boost, as if you can't see them on the radar already, and as if the maps weren't that big already. They're pretty small maps, to be fair. So I don't know why they don't allow a party of more than size 1 to go into Infected. That is a major problem. But another major problem about it is the class that you get. The Spaz 12, or I think they call it the S Ravage in this game, whatever it is, it sucks. Now, I know it's not going to be anything like the Spaz 12 from Modern Warfare 2, because that Spaz 12 was amazing, and of course, Call of Duty, they're not going to take something that was amazing and make it amazing again, because that's just the nature of the franchise as we've known progressively through the series. But the shotgun is like a 2-hit kill at close range, and when you're talking about an all Infected that are jumping and flying in the air with throwing knives, and the punching, don't even get me started, the knives hit you from 10 feet away, dude. The knives hit you from 10 feet away. No joke. It's just complete BS, and the class setup, I don't even think there's perks on the class setup. There's nothing. I think you have a secondary, if I remember correctly, but that secondary is just like, I think it's better than the shotgun, honestly, because you could still hit things with it, but it still takes a lot of shots to kill. Can't we just have Modern Warfare 3 Infected back? We're not even going to get that, because Modern Warfare 3, okay, the difference between this Infected and Modern Warfare 3, or even Call of Duty Ghosts, is that the maps in Modern Warfare 3 and Ghosts were easy to set up in certain areas, so you can party up first of all, go in a certain area with your friends in the back of the map, or try and, camp it out, try and hide even somewhere, and you could survive for a long time either by hiding or by surviving it out, because the map layout worked perfectly with Infected. It was perfect to try and survive. Now here in Advanced Warfare, but especially more in Infinite Warfare, that's the reason I'm talking, the maps are so chaotic, and of course that's the newer style of Call of Duty that we get, but the maps are so chaotic that dudes will spawn in and shoot me behind the back, or not, well, knife me behind the back, or throw a throwing knife, or for whatever reason, I know the lobbies in this game go up to 18, which is a good thing, because I don't think Ghosts had 18 players in Infected, but I could be wrong. But in this game, you can have Infected up to 18 players, but the matches last so damn long because nobody likes to be infected, or people run around, and this is supposed to be a fast-paced game. The maps are so chaotic. Sometimes it'll be way too chaotic when it is chaotic, and when it's not chaotic, it's just boring sitting there looking at my trip mine that I threw on the ground. So, and another little thing that's actually a glitch that I would like to point out is when you hit the back button on the leaderboards, there's supposed to be 18 people in the lobby, which there is. The leaderboards just don't show that there's 18 people in the lobby. It shows it's split up half and half. Now, I get that there's two teams, but in Modern Warfare 3, the scoreboard moved up, if it was in Ground War or Infected, to allow more players to be shown. But here, it's just like they didn't even bother with it. They just left it fixed there, and if the names went off the leaderboard list, then there's no more names. Even though there's 18 people, it just doesn't show the rest of them, which is absolutely retarded, and that bug needs to be fixed. But aside from that, this is not Infected. It's not Infected. It really is not. Go back and play Modern Warfare 3, and that was the best version of Infected, especially since you had perks to start off with, and you got the Specialist bonus. Now, that's too overpowered. Dude, it's a video game. It's made to have fun, and that's what Call of Duty used to be. It used to be, you go on there, even with like Call of Duty 4, you had the 3, 5, 7 kill streaks. You could, pretty much almost anybody can get to a 7 kill streak in Call of Duty, and that's what was fun about it. Now, you look at the highest streak in Infinite Warfare. I don't even know. I think it's, what is it called? The Apex? I don't even know if I'm saying it correctly. The highest streak is like a 18 gun streak or something like that. It's like that. I could get 6 more kills and have a Moab. Just the way that they made this franchise harder to adapt to, like specifically speaking, Infected, Modern Warfare 3. To Infected Ghosts, to Infected Advanced Warfare, to Infected Infinite Warfare, you could see the progression of how much harder it has gotten to survive, and a really good player that has everything knowledge down up to using the S-Ravage and the secondary that you get in Infected and learning the maps and everything, that person can do good. You could probably get 10, 15, keep going on streaks, you could get a deatomizer strike, but it's just not fun. It's just not fun to play it. And plus, when I'm looking at the robots, like, I don't even know. It's just something that turns me off about looking at the robots versus looking at all those Infected that we saw. And of course, it's not boots on the ground Infected, so dudes are flying literally everywhere. Now, it wasn't as chaotic as Advanced Warfare with the exosuit, but it still is too chaotic for an Infected type game mode. You can't hide anywhere. And especially in this game, since they have the health bars, you can't hide anywhere because they'll see the health bar. So, and there really is no place to hide anyway since the maps are so small. So they essentially, I don't think they meant to ruin Infected with some of the decisions. It's just that the franchise itself has been changing, and we're never going to see the old version of Infected come back. And, whether that be Modern Warfare 3 or Call of Duty Ghosts, I prefer Modern Warfare 3's Infected, especially with the class setups. I mean, look at the class setups. You had the Type 95, the Barrett was still good in Infected, and that was a sniper. You had the Striker, one of the best shotguns in Modern Warfare 3. And what do we get in Infinite Warfare and even Call of Duty Ghosts to an extent, until they added more class setups to Ghosts, which they might add more class setups to Infected, but still, they should have had that in there when the game launched, since I'm paying $60 for a full game. But, now in Infinite Warfare, we see a pump shotgun in an Infected. How am I supposed to survive with a pump shotgun, dude? It's not going to happen. It's very far-fetched, and it's just like they're trying to make everything so difficult and hard, and it's not like I'm complaining that because, I suck at the game, which I very well may suck at the game. It's not that. It's just the fact that video games are supposed to be for fun, and who really cares? I mean, if we were talking on a professional competitive video gaming scene, then I could understand the point why it would be a little bit tougher, but we're just sitting here having fun playing a video game, and why make it more challenging? It's a party game mode, for Christ's sakes. It's a party game mode, and they don't even have all the party game modes in the game as of this point. They have them in a custom match, but you can't get them online, so it's like, I don't even know what they're doing over there at Infinity Ward. Are they working on their game, or are they already starting to work on their next game for 2020, 2019, whatever it is? What are they starting to work on that game already because Infinite Failure already failed? Who knows? But that is my thoughts. Infected was just awful when I played it. It was either too slow because nobody moved, or because of the class setups in the map, it was way too fast at certain times. Just the class setups themselves suck. There's just no more to say about it. It's not Infected, and that's pretty much it. And, going into Infected, I didn't really have any hope at all, but this just really drained everything that I had left for the game. I mean, Infected is my favorite party game mode. It's probably pretty close to my favorite game mode in Call of Duty history, and it sucks in this game. So, there's not really much left to say about it, but you can let me know your thoughts down below on what you think about Infected. And what's your favorite version of Infected? I think so far we've got Modern Warfare 3, Call of Duty Ghosts, Advanced Warfare, and Infinite Warfare. What is your favorite version of Infected? And, like I said, Modern Warfare 3, it has to be for me. And maybe that's just because of the nostalgia feeling. Maybe because if you started on Call of Duty Ghosts, you liked Infected there better. But it's just the class setups. Everything worked in Modern Warfare 3, and it was so super fun to go into a match and play Infected. But anyways, I'll see you on the next one. This is Ninja Geek. I'm out. And peace.